This is News 3 at 5.
First tonight, new details of the deadly shooting on the Las Vegas Strip. We are getting a glimpse inside the hotel suite where the gunman went on a shooting rampage Sunday night.
Stephen Paddock killed 59 people, injured more than 500 others. Many are still in critical condition tonight. Video taken from his hotel suite at the Mandalay Bay shows an assault rifle resting on a stand on the floor. Crime scene tape can also be seen across the broken doorway. Police say the 64-year-old had an arsenal of 23 weapons, thousands of rounds of ammunition inside that hotel suite. 19 other guns were found at his home in Mesquite, Nevada. The sheriff also says he had set up cameras inside and outside his hotel room.
We have identified all but 3 victims. We still have an active scene at the grounds near Mandalay Bay.
A law enforcement source tells CBS News he had recently transferred thousands of dollars to a bank account in the Philippines in recent weeks, but it's unclear who received that payment. Investigators still do not have a motive.
Today, we're learning more about the victims who lost their lives, including a Wisconsin native. 44-year-old Stephen Berger was a financial advisor who lived in Shorewood, Minnesota, but grew up in Wauwatosa. He is just one of the 59 people who were killed. Kenneth Craig has more of their stories from Las Vegas. UW Health at the American Center is looking to support their counterparts in Las Vegas.
Arvelina Jones explains how the hospital is making an impact by making sure the staff out in Nevada doesn't go hungry. Valina.
Yeah, they're looking to help any way they can. And as hospitals in Las Vegas continue to work around the clock, staff at UW Health at the American Center wants to do their part by sending a special delivery from miles away. Now, Horn plans to continue sending pizzas to Las Vegas area hospitals as long as people continue to donate. Today, they have raised around $300. Those donations will go towards paying for pizzas to be delivered to Sunrise Hospital, which is also very close to where the shooting happened and where they're taking in a lot of patients.
A lot of people working hard out there. Every little bit helps to let them know we're thinking about them. Valina, thank you.
Absolutely.
President Trump plans to visit Las Vegas tomorrow. Today, he was in Puerto Rico. President Trump toured the destruction there, talked about the response to Maria. He said Puerto Rico should be proud of its low death toll in comparison to New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, which he called a real catastrophe. But he also joked about the island jeopardizing budget resources.
I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack because we've spent a lot of money on Puerto Rico, and that's fine. We've saved a lot of lives, 16 people versus in the thousands. You can be very proud of all of your people, all of our people working together. 16 versus literally thousands of people.
The president did meet with the mayor of San Juan, who he had chastised after pleading for more help last week. Nearly 2 weeks after Maria hit, 95% of the island remains without power. Food and fresh water remain in short supply in many areas. In response, the U.S. has deployed 12,000 federal aid workers, and 70% of the island's gas stations are now back up and running.
Let's get a look at our first alert weather. Gary Canalti is in the Weather Center. Another mild and humid day, Gary.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Gary. There is new information tonight in the Stephen Avery case. A Sheboygan County Circuit Court judge has denied Avery's request for a new trial in the murder of Teresa Halbach. Avery and his attorney submitted a motion requesting that Avery be granted a new trial based on planted evidence and false testimony. A judge today ruled that Avery failed to establish any grounds to warrant a new trial.
The U.S. Supreme Court will rule in the coming months on a crucial case concerning Wisconsin's election maps.
That's after attorneys from Wisconsin argued in court over whether the maps are too partisan. Political reporter Jessica Arp has the latest on what happened in court today. Jess?
Well, yeah, justices seem to come down on their traditional liberal and conservative lines and their lines of questioning of Wisconsin attorneys today, who are arguing over whether state Republicans redrew maps that are too partisan. The Gill v. Whitford case centers on the Republican work on those maps and makes a case that's unique before the Supreme Court over whether a map can be drawn purposefully in a way that's too biased. So far, 2 lower courts have agreed.
The plaintiffs have not yet provided any kind of clear, precise, and neutral standard that the court can apply to all districting maps across the United States. So without that elusive standard having been met, we believe there's yet one more way that will prevail in this case.
They have talked about all of those problems and nothing is getting done. And at the same time, 98% of them getting reelected. So you know it is a fixed system. You know it's a system where the politicians are picking the voters rather than the voters picking the politicians.
Protesters rallied outside the court this morning before oral arguments before the court to intervene in the process. Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger calling the process fixed and saying we should say hasta la vista to gerrymandering. And now the Supreme Court is seemingly coming down on partisan lines. While the Supreme Court is seemingly coming down on partisan lines in the case, Justice Anthony Kennedy is viewed as the swing vote in the case. And today, while he asked questions of attorneys, he did not seem to tip his hand in court.
Jessica Arp in the newsroom. Jess, thanks.
A Westfield man is charged with abusing a 1-year-old child. The sheriff's office there says 33-year-old Shane Blankenship was charged with 4 counts, including child abuse yesterday. This was in Marquette County Court. The mother told deputies that Blankenship was watching the child during the day. When she arrived home from work, she found her child severely injured. She took the child to an area hospital with substantial head trauma and severe bruising to the front and back of the head.
Madison Mayor Paul Soglin trying to hold the line on taxes and making public safety improvements at the same time as he releases his 2018 operating budget. Brittany Paris is here in the studio with us with more details. Brittany?
The mayor's $314 million proposal would raise property taxes on the average $270,000 Madison home by about $65. The mayor says he was able to drop the tax rate by 3%, due in part to growth in the property tax base. A lot of focus has been on public safety projects. This budget will provide staffing for a new Southeast Side fire station and a new Midtown police station. He's asking the Common Council to hold the line on taxes for businesses, families, and seniors.
We have so much to be grateful in Madison. It's a great place to live, work, play, and learn. We care about our neighbors, and this budget continues our investment in making our city a place where we can all feel safe, live happily, and pursue our dreams.
The budget includes funds to match a $350,000 federal grant to add 15 more police officers. The biggest spending increase in the budget does go to the police department. There's an opportunity for the public to weigh in on the budget 2 weeks from tonight. The council will go through the approval process in mid-November.
We will continue to follow it. Thanks, Brittany.
Still ahead, Foxconn executives are set to make a major announcement.
Plus, a farewell to a long-serving member of the UW Police Department. How the department is remembering K9 Odin.